Often people attempt to live their lives backwards. They try to have more things or more money in order to do more of what they want so they will be happier. The way it actually works is the reverse. You must first be who you really are, then do what you need to do in order to have what you want. Margaret Young. Now keep in mind, when you visit with me each week, you're only seeing 20 to 30 minutes of what I did during those 7 days. Each week, we're all given 10,080 minutes to think about who we really are and figure out the things we need to do in order to help us create a life we want. If you were to start with just a few of those minutes each week and do something totally different than you normally would do, what would you do to make yourself happier and your life better? Would you call a friend? Maybe transfer money from a 0% checking account over to a high-yield savings account? Organize a drawer or a space in your home? Make a healthy meal versus a quick takeout? Or what about volunteering some of those minutes to a cause you believe in? It's limitless, and you can start with as few or as many minutes as you'd like. One thing I did for myself, I made the decision to spend less of my precious minutes on social media and use them to invest in my real life. That I know will make me happier, and I know it will help me in the future. What I'm going to share now in the rest of this video are the simple things that I did. I was on social media less, and I got some things done around the home that I wanted to do, and then I made some super simple, quick meals, some of them out of packages, and I allowed myself to say, that's okay, because I was going to be adding some minutes back into my life to do something else. I hope you enjoy this video. I am playing with one of my latest thrifted consignment finds, and it is a beautiful cast water fountain. It's either wall or tabletop, but the pump is old. Right now we're seeing that it is definitely full of gunk. I'm gonna try to clean it out, but I did purchase a pump the other day just in case I decide to go back to get this. Right now, Ben is getting a screwdriver because I tried getting it out with a small wimpy screwdriver and it's not working. I'm gonna give this a good cleaning, and then I'm gonna try the pump that I picked up because I don't know if this is worth trying to clean up. This pump says it's from France, so interesting. But I thought that would be nice to hear outside. I cannot find the copper fountain that I did last year and fixed up. Cannot find it at all. Now I know it kept breaking on me. I don't foresee that I donated it, but I never know. But this will be fun to clean up. Well, I'm excited. This is a Virginia Metal Crafters piece. I used to love that brand. All right, now I'm excited even more so to clean this up. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see here. I ended up having to use the adapter, and I had to cut this old cord because they had it stretched out. So luckily the adapter fit. I have some bubbles in there. Who knows what will happen, but let's see. I don't know if I have to prime it or not, but let's plug this in. Ooh. It works. I'm so excited. Yay. No, this one's not working for some reason. Maybe it's clogged. I might have a clog there. It has to be clogged. There's nothing coming out. I can fix that. That's minor. Just put a stick in there. I'm sorry if you hear my dryer going in the background, but I'm out in another area that I have been cleaning up. It took quite a while to weed this. I rebuilt part of the wall down the end. I don't think I shared this yet, but I was coming out to show you. I did leave quite a few of the milkweeds here in the garden because I know butterflies love it, and it is covered. Now I'm gonna walk over there and you'll see how many actually either fly away or don't care I'm there. It is so full. It's beautiful. They're not going to care that I'm here. Every one of these flowers has a butterfly enjoying some of the pollen. This is also a favorite for monarchs, and they love to lay their eggs here, and they do dine on it, and I let them. Such a beautiful color too. Might have a little bee in there as well. We for sure have a storm coming in at about, I don't know, 2 or 3 more hours. I've been watching the radar. It's supposed to be kind of nasty. So I'm just enjoying the outside. I'm doing some laundry and going back in and out doing housework. But this is so much more fun than vacuuming. I'm going to close this gate with some winds coming, but I thought I'd show you. I still have quite a bit of wall to rebuild. I'm going to make this double thickness. The stones keep hitting the wood, so they kind of keep making them unaligned, and then you can't close them. For this particular gate, I'm almost thinking of doing a complete wood area, and then I can put these stones back somewhere else. But I did clean up this area here, and I just have to bring in some bark mulch. Willow is in the doorway watching, wondering why she's not outside with me. We already have some of the tendrils of the cucumber grabbing on to the stakes. So this is going to be fun to watch. And the tomatoes are starting to get some of their buds. Perfect. Not the best weather to go to a party. As we are driving, a tornado warning was issued for our area, and the town we're heading to had a small tornado touchdown the week before and the year before that. I kept commenting how beautiful it was, but I kept my eye on the sky. For some of you that don't know, yes, we do get tornadoes in New England. Over the years, I've had my share of seeing their damage, and after seeing them start to form, I'm always on the lookout for signs. The storm passed, the party was grand, and now we're heading home. The little red building you're going to see is Yankee Magazine's corporate office, and I love passing this church with the clock all lit up. Good morning, kindred spirits. Well, it's not as early as it normally is. I was up at 5 with Willow, but our poor Willow has been sick yet again, some same issues. So I was up with her all night after ER again, and we do have a scheduled appointment with an MRI. But right now I'm outside checking on the gardens. I'm going to water it in a moment. I actually put a little board here so that I could put the sprinkler on. But just a little update. I love how the cucumbers are definitely finding their way, climbing up. I have one over here that I need to try to train. And then I have some zucchinis absolutely growing in here. Very exciting. This year, I made it a point to only plant some things that I knew I would enjoy eating, using, and keeping up with, since I knew I was going to be doing a lot more here on the outside of the house. The tomatoes are doing great. I'm going to get some ties to just help them stay up, but I was interweaving them in and out of this opening here as they were growing, just for a little support near the bottom. But it's time for me to also get off some of the suckers or some leaves that we don't need, because I want all of the energy to go to the fruit of the plant. So I have my coffee here in my hand. I have to put it down. Let's see here. But there's a lot of greenery here that is just not necessary. Like, I'm going to take these lower ones off. Don't need to give any help with critters and little bugs climbing up from the soil. Oh, they can go up the stem, I know that. But there's some things here that I'm going to pick off. Like, let's see here. I'm going to take off this little branch here, right inside. And the whole point, once again, is so that you get a little extra energy going to your fruit. But I think I need to get the water set up because of the heat expected again. Doing some deadheading, and I've been asked before how to do deadheading on plants, and they're all different. Now, right now I'm working on the bachelor buttons. This grouping is all the new growth, but let me show you what it looked like before. It was long and spread open, but inside there's all this new growth. So I'm going to cut, I let this go too far. I'm going to cut this down and let all this new growth come up. And then just a little bit, not too long into the summer here, we're gonna have all new growth. But what I'm doing is I'm collecting these little dried pieces, and I'm gonna show you something in a moment. Now, I've also been cutting back the Scabiosa, and I wanted to show you that with this, I've gone back quite a ways, but on a lot of them, there's all these new buds. I don't think I kept one. Oh, I have one here. So here's one that's dead that I missed. I cut that. I'm going to cut it right down just to where these leaves are, and then we'll have a whole new shoot. So I'm neatening up the garden, and I have some overgrowth there of the little pansies, and I have some briars that snuck in here. So I'm going to take care of this and just make the garden look a little happier. The Sugar Shack is all painted. We're waiting to see if we're going to do a second coat, but all I need to do right now is work on the black hinges. But with this heat, I'm just going to wait until a cooler day. This is called Cottage Red, Benjamin Moore, and ours is in a latex stain. Now let me tell you, if you go and bring the can or ask them to mix up a stain for you in Cottage Red, the computer doesn't like the formula. So luckily we have somebody who's been in the paint department, I think they said 15 years, and he knew how to manipulate the computer to create the color. And we found this in the basement, so we knew it was done and we knew it was doable. But if you go and you do want Cottage Red and you go and find out they say, I can't do it, there is a way. I just don't know what that way is. And like I mentioned, this outer wall, I'm gonna zoom back out here. This outer wall, I did not clean it up. I mentioned I was going to start working on the inner walls only. So this is kind of a shambles right now, but I am going to grab those peonies when it's time and plant them on the inner wall. I will plant these. They almost look like a stilby, but they're not. I have to look at what these are. I have them in my gardening journal. The ironweed I will leave there, but it is starting to take over the boxwood. So this side of the yard looks a bit messy to me, and the bittersweet took over. And remember that circle of stones I took so much time cleaning and getting ready to, fix? This is the trimming that I did yesterday. I still have some briars to pick up and put into the burning pile. But look, the place I cleaned up all nice and neat is overgrown again already by forsythia, briars, and ferns. So I'm gonna have to wait to work on that again. And there's our Willow. They said she's not with it. So right now she is on pain meds. Last night she was very loopy. At least she's able to walk right now. But yeah, she's not feeling herself. But we're gonna get her all fixed up. Right, Willow? Hey. Hi. Aww. So she did just come over to me. So one of the things that made us realize that it was something that happened outside in the woods, she is now afraid, since that day in May, to leave our porch, leave our side, go play in the woods. She's a very different girl. So the vet confirmed that poodles, and she's mostly poodle with a little lab, they're so smart and remembering trauma. So it was either a deer or a limb could have fallen on her. Who knows? We don't know. But like I said, we're going to give her the care that she needs, huh? But I'd also thought I'd show you over here. I'm working on the pea stone still. I was also potting some things. But this is how far I've gotten so far. Still using pea stone from other parts of the property. I have that far to go, but the heat has been just so relentless. It's been hard to work out here in the houseflies. But I did the other day, I have my lemon thyme planted in this urn here, but this is just kind of like a temporary. This is just all for fun right now. Once I finish this pea stone area, I will build a little more of the wall here. I will hide that water runoff hose and fix all this up. But this was just for fun. Now I did get my orange mint planted. I used a coconut husk liner inside the basket, elevated on a box, just a cardboard box, filled with soil. So this will work out well through the summer. Are you heading inside? You didn't do anything. Okay, you can go in if you'd like. Oh, big steps. The other day, I cut all the poppies down and I'm saving the pods. I'm going to hang them to dry. But when I first put this basket down, I did throw my gloves in. I did throw my hat on. And I loved just the color combination of all these neutrals with the pop of green. I know it's silly. I just thought it was a really pretty thrown display. I'm going to show you also some of these bachelor buttons. I'm going to put it right on top of this basket because we have some sun here, or at least enough. I was cleaning up the bachelor buttons and I realized that it probably got the name. I'm going to find a really good one here. Let me take a peek. Let me search here for a great bachelor's button. Now, I always wondered why it was called a bachelor button. It didn't look like buttons to me. Well, maybe it was named after when they're dry. Look at this. Look how perfect. This looks like a little button. Isn't that pretty? I'm still collecting all kinds of things from the garden for my potpourris that I'm making. And these might go into one of them. Bachelor buttons. What the bachelor button looks like when it's not dried. That's why I wondered, it doesn't look like a button. Well, I was deadheading some of the Scabiose yesterday, and I know I went over it a bit, but it's a little bit brighter out today. You can see there's all this new plant growth here. These will all be flowers. So once it got long and leggy, I cut them down. I even tried saving some of these for the potpourri, but it made me think of another pod that I saved, and it was beautiful. But once I went to put it away, it kind of poofed like a dandelion into 1,000 little floating fun seeds. So I think the Scabiose was going to do the same thing. But while I was cleaning yesterday, I dug up and came across part of this purple bottle. I don't know if this is new or old. It could be a reproduction, of course, from one of the previous owners. But I have my purple. I just thought that was so pretty. A lot of the stuff that I cleaned up is already working its way through. I have to get some gloves to pull some of the briars. But this is horsetail. native horsetail. And, oops, I'm going to pull this weed while I'm here. Actually, that is a lily that's coming back. But this is a horsetail, and I was just doing a little bit more research on it other than I knew the name of it because it's such a cool name. But I read that this is as old as the dinosaurs, and it is used for a lot of medicinal purposes. I'm not going to use it, but I wouldn't be surprised if my daughter has already with some of her tinctures and whatnot. But I was reading it can be dried and then pulverized and made into a powder for some things. So I might do a little more research. I don't know. It's growing everywhere, and it might be good to put it to use. But first, with anything, I'm going to triple confirm that's what this is. Pretty sure it is. But if you ever do anything for herbal tinctures or teas, please make sure you know 100% it is what it is. Because I remember last year hearing about a filmy that got very sick thinking that they were eating wild ramps, wild onions. No, they were eating the bulbs of crocuses. That couldn't make good. I think later today I'll grab some of the white hydrangeas and bring those inside. I was also going to bring inside some of the catmint, but it's already passing. But I still might just to have some scent and add it. We'll see. This is just a line from the water, but I'm heading back out because I don't know where I put my coffee down. I don't know if it's out here when I was looking at the cucumbers. I'm on maybe an hour and a half's worth of sleep, so I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, I could have a full night of sleep and still leave my coffee places. Nope, it's not there. We had so many blueberries on these bushes, and as soon as they turn blue, the birds and the chipmunks are getting them. I just don't want to wrap them. Probably could, should, but we'll see. Maybe they'll leave me some. But this is another herb, a wild herb. And these little bits right here that look like tiny little cucumbers, they're edible, as are the leaves. They have like a lemony citrus. You can add those right to a salad. Another thing I didn't share that we finished, we got this whole section weeded off to the back here, or at the side. And we have our real bark mulch that we saved from some of the trees that came down. And at one point I'll put the darker mulch over, but probably not till next year. And I do have a little bird bath there for water for the birds. But so far it has held up to some torrential rain. I was hoping it wouldn't wash down because this is fairly steep here, and it's been doing pretty good. So these are just some of the projects that I've been working on, trying to enjoy a nice, slow summer, taking a step back from social media a bit. Now this video just showed a few little snippets of the real me. I love working in the yard and fixing things, but I also totally love and I'm okay with making quick and easy non-scratch meals and desserts or reheating leftovers during the hot summer days and nights. And these are just a few that I did during the week. Reheated spinach pie, super quick sandwiches with cut watermelon off to the side, and some lemonade with lemon slices. And I'm serving it on a recent thrifted tray. Cheese tortellini with a little butter sauce, fresh chive from the garden, fresh lettuce from the garden, and a tomato from the market. And I always try to have Boboli pizza crusts in the pantry, and I always try to have cheese in the refrigerator. I didn't have a lot of our normal toppings. I like to put mushrooms or pepperoni, but I did have some jalapenos that Ben likes, and I also like banana ring peppers, so that's what I put on top of this pizza this time. And whenever I make these pizzas, I love using my pizza board that I thrifted, and inside the oven you're going to see a pizza stone that I thrifted, and I have fun using them, but I make sure I will never cut on this pizza board. And that's just because I like to keep it looking new since I hang it in the butler's pantry. Silly, I know. Some of you have noticed that I'm actually using a book stand for my cutting boards. It really has worked out well over the years. That too was a thrifted find, but I'm going to see if I can find something similar that has a similar depth for you online. And last but certainly not least, I mixed up a batch of these pumpkin spiced muffins, or actually it says spiced pumpkin muffins, from Stonewall Kitchens, and they came out really delicious, and we've been snacking on one each morning. Well, kindred spirits, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to take my muffin, I'm going to sit on the porch, read a little bit more of my book. I already did my journaling for the day, and I'm just going to enjoy this warm summer morning. Until next week, friends, bye now. These are starting to pass, but I still just can't get over the colors of these hydrangea. They're beautiful.